I'm Mark,
I'm Josh.
and this is Alter Ego Comics TV for the week of July 6th, 2016. I'm back after a lengthy absence where I enjoyed myself immensely on vacation. Sadly, we did not have an episode next week. Apparently, you were not.
Last week.
Last week. Did I say this week?
You said next week.
Next week. We did not. I can see the future now. We did not have an episode next week. Last week, and you weren't moved to fly solo or
it was a
bring
light
Alex
week,
in?
and I didn't want to overburden people with my presence.
You like Josh, don't you, folks? Chime in the comments. Say we like Josh, we like you, we love you. Those things. But I was amazed at how light last week was. But there were some gems, which we are going to get to later on in this week's episode. But we'll start off with a Rebirth double shot. I had a hard time choosing which Rebirth titles I wanted to talk about this week because I liked the majority of them. But I think my pick is Green Arrow #2. This is by Ben Percy and Otto Schmidt and continues the story of Ollie and Emmy and Black Canary and the whole gang from the previous two issues, along with the weird underground murdering people. They're called something. The Burnt or something. Well, they're part of the Ninth Circle, which I don't know if this is timed to coincide with Inferno, the new Ron Howard, Tom Hanks adaptation of the
Dan Brown
book. I don't know. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. Really digging Schmidt's artwork. Ben Percy is telling a nice, tight story. And again, I think it may have helped that we had in the store playing an interview with Ben Percy where he kind of laid out where he was going, and he also, again, is just as a reminder, has one of the scariest voices in comics. So that's why I have to pick this, or else he will call me up and taunt me or something. But Green Arrow was top-notch. Issue #2, also top-notch. Green Lanterns #2, which features Simon Baz and Jessica Cruz, the Lethal Weapon team-up of the Green Lantern Corps, written by Sam Humphries, artwork by Robson Roca. Again, I think Humphries is doing an amazing job. We get a lot of backstory on Jessica Cruz in this issue, and we don't really know much about her. So we get some flashbacks and just really good storytelling. And Roca's artwork is, again, top-notch. I think DC, across the board, has drafted some great artists to launch Rebirth. And some of the, like Ben Percy, I was never familiar with him before Green Arrow. Sam Humphries, I can count on one hand the number of Sam Humphries comics I've read in my lifetime. But they're both doing a bang-up job. So Green Lanterns #2, Green Arrow #2, both worth your time and money.
And my pick of the week this week is Sam Wilson, Captain America #11. This is a Civil War II tie-in. Like, I think everything Marvel put out this week.
Even if it's not, it
they put the banner on there.
It has the banner on it. It's very deceiving.
You saw Carol fly across the background. It's a Civil War II tie-in. But this one actually is tying in. We're following the story that's been going on a bit in Sam Wilson about the AmeriCops, super-powered cops that are sort of faceless, and every sci-fi movie villain ever, where why can't I think of Dystopia? That's the one I want. Where the government is beating down the man. And in this case, it seems like they're beating down an awful lot of the same type of man. And Sam Wilson is not down with that. But we also get some great stuff with him and Tony and him and Carol. Each one kind of trying to pitch him and give him their philosophy and to get him to take sides in Civil War II. And we spend a little bit of time with Rage, no one's favorite new warrior. And he's
someone's favorite new warrior.
Yeah,
we don't know that person, but I know
I'm sure they're out there.
Yeah.
And it's just really well written. It's tightly plotted. It's got a lot of great ideas going on in it, and it's just a joy to read every month.
Nick Spencer, you're the man.
Doing the job.
Another double shot of Rebirth, Batman #2, written by Tom King, artwork by David Finch. And if you may recall, Batman #1, was it #1? Yes, it was my pick of the week. It was very fast-paced, action movie-esque, really dug it. This one also continues that pacing, and we get to meet, but we get to spend a little more time with Gotham and Gotham Girl. And we really don't know what to make of these two new characters. I want to like them, I want to believe that they're good, but something tells me that there may be something going on behind the scenes. So Commissioner Gordon meets them for the first time. Batman's kind of bringing them into his inner circle. He's trusting them. But something major is happening behind the scenes. The Monster Men are coming, and that is going to be the first Batman crossover within the Bat titles. It happens in a couple months. So keep your eyes open for that. So Batman number 2.
Watch out for the Monster Men.
Yeah, watch out for the Monster Men underneath your bed. Continues to be awesome. Superman number 2 also continues to be awesome.
Can we talk about the perspective on that cover?
Well, I'm going to come back to that in a second here, because I do want to talk about the cover. But written by Peter Tomasi, artworked by Patrick Gleason. And before you get to your artistic criticisms, I thought this was a Tim Sale cover.
Oh.
I glanced at this, well, more than glancing. I was amazed to see that it was a Patrick Gleason cover once I investigated a little further. I think Gleason is doing some of the best artwork of his career on this Superman book. I like his art style, but there's some components of it that I didn't really dig on Batman and Robin, but he's just drawing an amazing Superman book. There's just so many great panels in here. As I was reading this, I was thinking, if I have the opportunity to pick up original art from this book, I'm totally going to do it, because it's just really top-notch. Do your artistic critique,
No, I'm just saying
and then I will move on.
That knee is sort of like the perspective. It's very Kirby, where there's one part going
There's no
forward.
crackle, though.
Yeah, but there's no... I don't think the perspective is right. It's too big.
I like the artwork, though.
It's pretty. I'm not arguing that.
So, continues the great story of Superman and Lois from the pre-New 52 Earth. I'm growing weary of having to explain who Superman and Lois are. And their son, Jonathan. You get a great mission between Clark and Jonathan, or Superman and his son. And there's that kind of shocking moment from the first issue becomes a teachable moment in this issue, and I think it's handled very well. Just really, really good stuff. The only part that I wasn't sold on was the end. And it might just be...
See, now I don't remember what the end is.
and not sold on, but I kind of was like, really?
Oh, yeah.
But if you're a fan of the Death of Superman storyline from the 90s, if you enjoyed... that part, and by no means am I saying you should skip this or it wasn't a good book. It was like 95% I loved it, and then it was just the last part where I was like, I don't really know where this is going to go, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. So DC, my stack is almost entirely DC these days, and that's not because I'm a fair weather fan, it's just because I'm really enjoying the stories that they're telling in Rebirth.
And as a pile of Rebirth, we also got Justice League Rebirth number 1. This is the one shot that precedes the actual series, written and drawn by Brian Hitch, and yeah, Justice League on the stands.
The important thing to know about this issue is that the Superman from the Superman books feels compelled to join the Justice League for a mission to fight some bad thing. Basically, it's reintroducing Superman to the Justice League, a different Superman that nobody is really sure about.
Right, and you get to see the League talking to each other like, is this our Superman? We don't really know this guy, and it was necessary.
Yes.
Next up for me this week, from Dark Horse, we've got Bounty number 1, written by Curtis Wiebe with art by Mindy Lee, and am I saying that right? Wiebe?
Sure.
The guy from
Rat Queens,
yeah. And Peter Panzerfaust. So if you were sad to hear that Rat Queens is on a indefinite hiatus, this is where you can get your Wiebe fix. Far future, or at least sci-fi future, a couple of women are the world's greatest heisty, thiefy type people until they get taken down. That's like the first 2 or 3 pages. And then we jump to a few years later where they've assembled a team of bounty hunters and are kind of scraping by on the edge of society like Firefly, making money where they can. But it's just very joyous, over-the-top, adventure, fun stuff, a lot like Rat Queens was. Kind of a classic genre tale, but kicked up to 11 with lots of sarcasm and humor.
Who's the pull quote from?
Pull quote is from Fiona Staples. Bounty is totally fresh and fun. I think she's talking about the Quicker Pecker Upper,
yes,
the towels
paper
there.
towels.
But
cool.
Yes, their slogan is kick ass, shoot first, get paid.
My final twofer this week is Han Solo, number 2, written by Marjorie Liu, artwork by Mark Brooks. First issue was great, second issue continues to be great, and just the artwork is a joy to behold. the art on this book is outstanding. Lou's writing is also outstanding. It's just a really good Han Solo story set between A New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back, and just really dug it. Finally, Paper Girls number 7, which is the second part of the most recent story arc. You can still probably find issue number 6, which is the beginning, or pick up the trade, do something, because this is a really great book. Do something. I don't know. Stand on your head, whistle Dixie, I don't know. I read someone else's comment last night on Twitter that they don't really understand what's going on in Paper Girls, but they like it. And that's kind of where I am with this too. There's a lot that does make sense and is easy to understand, but then there's some stuff in there where you're like, I don't really know what's happening here. But Vaughn is kind of revealing a little bit here and there. Great moments between the main character, what's her face?
I don't know their names.
And I can't even remember. Yeah, come on, someone give me a name. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know. You know, the main character. I haven't seen a name. Haven't seen a name in 4 pages.
Well,
so.
When you're sitting around with your friends, how often do you call them by their name? I mean,
only when you're angry, usually. So the main character interacting with her future self and vice versa, and that's really the crux of this issue. Plus a reveal towards the end on how one of the other Paper Girls' lives may have changed between where she was and where she is now. So Paper Girls continues to be great. Highly recommend it. Pick it up. Pick up the first trade. If you haven't read it, pick up the trade and go from there. You should.
Yeah, this is, to me at least, a lot like Morning Glories or Lost. But unlike those things, it has the sort of touchstone nostalgia of the 80s stuff to kind of smooth over the bizarre, I have no idea what's going on parts. But incredibly well written. Great book. And speaking of time travel, I have 2 picks for you from last week since I was too timid to shoot a show. We've got Grayson Annual number 3. This is the end of Grayson. How weird is it to have your last issue be an annual? That's odd.
It's what happens when DC throws stuff into the air.
Written by Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly with art by Roger Good Lord. Antonio? That guy. There's a bunch of names on this cover, and they all did awesome stuff. Good work. But this is sort of a tying up loose ends to the end of the Grayson arc. You've got Dick basically arranges a meeting with John Constantine, Harley Quinn, Azrael, and Simon Baz, the current new
That's his new poker group?
Yeah. Well, no, I'm sorry. Dick doesn't set it up.
Bruce?
No, the host of the Spectre. Corrigan.
Jim Corrigan?
Is it Jim? Jim Corrigan.
I was going to say Crispus Allen, but...
yeah, Crispus, that's not true anymore.
Wrong universe.
Sorry, it was a week since I read it. The names are eluding me. And it was great. Basically, Corrigan's trying to investigate this mysterious agent, who we know obviously is Dick Grayson, who's been mucking about in Gotham and in the DC universe, and each of these people has had an encounter with him, and they retell it, and they all kind of discuss who they think it might be, and it was just great. It was a lot of characters I like. They were all well-written and fun, and each kind of little Grayson vignette showed Dick being awesome, so that's all I want out of life, really, is for Dick Grayson to be awesome. And it's delivered. Also, this is really one of those things that once I tell you about it, you either want it or you don't. But Spectrum, number 1 by P.J. Harisma and Alan Tudyk with art by Sarah Stone is out last week on Stand Still today. And if you're familiar with Alan Tudyk and Nathan Fillion, stars of Firefly, they did a little video, it wasn't Kickstarted, Indiegogo, some sort of crowdfunding.
Crowdfunded, yeah.
Film about guys who were on a canceled TV show.
Called Con
Men, and this is about the fictional show that was canceled in their universe. So yeah, based on that information, you either already want it or you don't. If you want it, it's worth your time. If you don't, you probably don't need it.
That's a great endorsement, and you're not wrong, probably. All right, well that's it for this week. Another batch of awesomeness on the stands. Hit up your local comic shop and give them your love and support. If you're local, give us your love and support. If you like the episode, please give us a thumbs up. Hit the old subscribe button so you're kept in the loop on whenever we add a new video to our channel. Looks like you wanted to say something.
No.
Oh, the one addendum here. Doctor Who Comics Day is Saturday, the annual affair that very few of you care about. There's a new Doctor Who series called the Cybermen Supremacy or Supremacy of the Cybermen. One of those two involves the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th Doctor. So if you're a Doctor Who fan, you want to check that out. That's available now. Saturday is Doctor Who Comics Day. It also coincides with our monthly free Kids Craft activity, Super Saturday, so we'll be making Doctor Who comic books. And we'll have Doctor Who coloring pages for the kiddos. So if you're local, come on out Saturday between 10:30 and noon for Doctor Who Comics Day / Super Saturday. All kinds of stuff happening. Thank you, as always, for watching. We do read all of your comments, so if you have questions or comments, remember to tell Josh that you love him. We'll see you next time.